Welcome back to the Canadian Gun Vault Behind the Vault Door. My name is Mark Morelli. I'll be your podcast host for this evening's episode. I'm flying solo tonight, and certainly it's been a busy week. Always is here at the Canadian Gun Vault, flying around from place to place, doing what we can to improve things within the firearm community. Loved getting up to spend a little time at Urban Tactical. I was really enjoying that place. It's a terrific environment. I look at the selection of guns they have there. I mean, if you're there to buy anything related to emergency services, chances are you'll find it there. And they've got like just this incredible staff that just always smiles. I really do enjoy going and spending some time there. And to make matters worse, or better, depending on your viewpoint, they have a range built into the back. And I really, really do think that they're running a class act there. It's been a number of exposures. I've spent quite a bit of time there now, and I really do enjoy spending some time at that location in Brantford. It's a little bit off the beaten path, and don't be afraid of that. They're worth the trip. To go there, to actually get smiled at, to have people really looking forward to showing people, others, a good time is really fun to watch. And I've been up there now probably 3 or 4 times in the last couple of months, and have not seen a lot of unhappy people leaving. Never seen anybody arguing at the counter, or any kind of debate going on at this location. And looking at their selection, looking at their range packages, I really do think that they supply people with a pretty good time there. So I'm really enjoying my time spent there. I'm planning on running. For those of you that get this in time, we're going to be running that contest for that little Beretta 75. For the people out there that don't know what a Beretta Model 75 looks like, I mean, it's like this little James Bond gun that's chambered in .22. Excuse me, I had to take a drink there. No, it's non-alcoholic. For those of you just tuning in, I always like to take a sip of water at some point throughout the course of these, rants. I've heard them called rants. I really actually, I love the idea of having my own personal space on the internet from rants. I mean, if this is the place to do it. I mean, sometimes people are subjected to it out in public, and, they don't want to listen. They don't have a choice. I'm pretty vocal about the firearm community. I love the idea of continuing to promote the firearm community in such a way that, sometimes I get a little enthusiastic, and, I try and never get down on anybody, but, when people say, this Trudeau government, we really haven't seen any major attacks yet, but, I can't help but feel something's still coming. I promised Dave, my partner and dear friend, that I would, kind of steer off the subjects of, possible bans, prohibitions, and or upcoming changes in law that could have a negative impact on the firearm community. But it permeates, every fiber of my being to think that this government, of all governments, amongst all the other bad decisions I think they're making, wouldn't take a stab at gun owners. I mean, the fact that they've waited this long says, I don't know, they're saving the best for last. I don't know. But I always feel that something's coming. And, what else we got on? So this contest, returning to the contest. The idea that, we could run a bullseye-style contest called Racing for Slips and run that is really an exciting prospect for me. I love the idea of going to Urban Tactical. And, of course, people will only be required to pay for the range fee. And I would ask that everybody come with a one box of 22 long rifle type ammunition, and I'll give you guys a warm up round or two, a mag or two from that gun. It's a tiny little Beretta. It actually is, it clusters quite nicely for a gun that was probably built sometime in the 70s, but it looks like a little miniature Beretta 92 FS with this like really long barrel, but it's really slim, and it's a single action type firearm. And it does really do a great impression of like a James Bond type gun. It looks like that. But it's a target pistol, and this one was gifted to us, and we were told to use it as we saw fit. And of course, now we're going to take this firearm and we're going to use it in bullseye style competitions to see who wins it. And if somebody can outshoot me, on the firing line, and the day I think I picked was actually this Sunday, which is like the 31st. And for those of you out there that think it's a bad idea to do it the night of Christmas, or rather New Year's Eve, I would say that we'll do it early enough in the day that you'll still have time to make all your plans. For those of you out there that have to explain to their wives why they're maybe leaving the house at 10:30 on a Sunday morning, hey, there's a good reason for it. You're going to get a chance to meet me, of course, and the good people there at Urban Tactical. And we're going to ask that people come, perhaps for noon hour. And be there, and that way there should be enough time that we can run several matches. And I love the idea of people showing up and just paying their range rental fees and getting a box of ammo. And I mean, with the allowance of a few warm-up magazines, the balance of the box of ammo will be left with the CGV, and we will use that to put forward to the new shooters that we come across as we instruct them with some of the smaller pistols in 22 caliber and rifles to get them better acquainted with the amazing world of firearms. And so we thought, ammo is starting to get a little bit expensive. We love the idea of, always introducing new people to the sport every week. Wherever we go, we try and leave a good impression with people. But the idea that, perhaps the burden of paying for the ammunition shouldn't be left completely to us. We love the idea of people donating that box of ammo to the cause. I promise I'll put it to good use. And so we're going to run this bullseye style competition, and if anybody should manage to outshoot me, you'll of course have to be a valid RPAL holder if you are to win the prize and be able to collect it. But if you can outshoot me at this competition, and I know Tango Mike 72, I know you're out there listening, and you think you can take this thing from me. If you think you're man enough to take it from me, Mikey, you come try. I'm really excited about the idea of going head to head with Tango Mike. He's a pretty focused cat. Even if you don't want to shoot in the competition, I think it would be really cool to see Mike and I shooting. I haven't been keeping up with Mike's accuracy game, but I do know that the man does not flinch when he's holding that shotgun pistol. And we ran that competition, if you want to call it that. It was more like an exercise in self-abuse. For those of you out there that missed our second installment to the Rossi shotgun pistol video series, Tango Mike and I shot this thing until we ran out of ammo, and finally, thank God, the gong collapsed and we were out of shells, because I don't think my hand could take any more of it. It took 5 days to get the feeling back in my hand. I fired a Magnum pistol now weeks later, and I can feel, it feels like a reoccurring injury. Like, wow, I will never do that again. Fire that shotgun pistol with those shells in it that many times. Tango Mike, I don't know if you feel the same way. You're not a quitter. You're a supreme competitor. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Sunday, Mike, along with anybody else that might want to take in that spectacle, because I imagine that's going to be a hell of a contest. I'm a little nervous that Mike may come a little closer than comfortable for my taste on the score sheet. So if you want to come out again on Sunday, the 31st of December, we're going to be running it around noon hour. So if you want to get there a little bit early, and it's going to be a little bit of a meet and greet. I love the idea if people show up and they want to talk to me. If not too many people show up, it'll just be great to kind of get together with members of the community and perhaps exchange some ideas. I'm always looking forward to meeting you guys. I might have some gear there with me if you want some. If you've been, perhaps wanting, one of our items for sale in our merchandise division, maybe I'll have some of that stuff with us. We love when you guys support us. It's really great to see the gear out there. I love that you guys are wearing it. For me, it's very exciting. Oh, it's time for another drink. Well, I've been accused of rambling. I want to come back to that because, no one's ever had anything bad to say about what it is that I talk about, but I have been accused of rambling. And I love the fact that, again, I've created this little space on the internet where I can ramble safely. I love the idea of you guys continuing to want to listen. And we're going to continue putting these things out there. And we love your input. Certainly tell everybody you know. Get this around to the different forums. The Canadian Gun Vault is 100% Canadian. And pulling hard for the Canadian firearm community. I love the idea of continuing to pursue the right to change some of these god-awful rules that we live under currently. The idea that an entire community of people would sit there and say, well, none of that makes any sense, but we'll do it anyway. I think the concept of maybe eradicating that kind of blind faith in the system is something that, we can promote here. If there's a bunch of laws that don't make any sense and they really don't, have any impact on public safety, I don't know why we couldn't eradicate those items from the book. We're a civilized nation. We're an intelligent group of people, hopefully, and we can come up with some reasonable solutions to crime involving firearms. I mean, I still haven't heard much about this advisory committee or what they're doing. I don't know if there's anything, concrete coming down the pike yet. People keep asking me, what do you know? I hear different things from what I consider to be ordinarily very credible sources. You hear the usual tinfoil hat theories. For the people out there in the world of listeners just tuning into us now, we have this thing in the firearm community called the tinfoil hats. Like the guys that are like constantly conspiracy theorizing. Those people are always, on the lookout for anything that looks suspect and are willing to point that out. Certainly, I'm going to have to dedicate an entire podcast actually to tinfoil hat theories, which are a lot of fun in some respects. They do get ridiculed quite often. Every now and then, I figure one of them's got to be right. We're all sitting there going, ha ha ha. There's no way that could ever happen. Meanwhile, it probably has, in some way, shape, or form. Always some ridiculousness is perpetrated by the government at some point in history. If you look back, I mean, there's all kinds of debacles. And certainly, in my time in policing, my 20 years of service, I saw a lot of things that made very little sense, even to the guys that were enforcing the rules. But that didn't stop people from, leaving them on the books, sometimes up for an unnecessary amount of time. So I think this is the point where perhaps we should start to lobby. Instead of, being on the defensive all the time, we should start to lobby hard for some real change. How about we relax the rules a little bit as they relate to this is wasted money over here? If my tax dollars are going to get spent, intending to have an impact on public safety that is positive and is definitely cost effective, I'm willing to do this. I think that we should start to look at things like that. Let's divert funds, monies, and resources away from areas that really have no impact on public safety, and let's start to filter them over to places where they could have a better impact. And certainly the desired effect, which is a reduction of violent crime involving firearms. I don't know what's so difficult to see about it. I can't break it down to any simpler terms. The guy who decides that he wants to own a firearm and operate a firearm, whether he wants to hunt, gun collect, long range shoot, skeet and trap and sporting clay, informal hand pistol, target shooting, bullseye, metallic silhouette, you name it, 3-gun, right? Hey, I just like blasting. I like that sound, like there's something for everybody in the firearm community. If you want to focus and you want to breathe and you want to hit absolute, target match perfection, you go over to the bullseye range and, you get yourself to a quiet club, like Galt. You want to do metallic silhouette, again, the Galt Sportsman Club. Pete Durant runs this fantastic metallic silhouette competition that I love, participating in. And, you're shooting at these little, steel chickens, pigs, rams, turkeys, of various sizes in, groups of 10. And it's like a carnival for adults. There's just 3-gun competitions. I really haven't gotten too close to those guys yet. I'm looking forward to following, the IPSC style, TDSA, handgun, pistol style competitions. I guess 3 guns would be, pretty much the natural evolution of that. People wanting to shoot different types of firearms. And again, very exciting timed and scored events. Really looking forward to following, some great figures in the firearm community, some really talented up-and-comers. Two-Eyed Practical. Keep your eye on him, folks. I'm really excited about providing you guys with some real exciting footage of this man in action. Like I like watching this guy move on like a camcorder camera or a camera phone style camera. That's not done well. I can't wait to get him from some different angles. Like he really does move quickly. It's going to be fun to watch. Actually, your best bet is to watch him actually from a distance. And you get a better appreciation for how this kid can stride. Like he's got these big long legs, and he just like flies out. You can see the scorekeepers struggling, and the refs struggling to keep up with his pace. I do believe I've heard rumors that he's been told to slow down a little bit because people can't keep up. I mean, hey, if it's a timed event and you're competing, some people can hustle. So I guess you're gonna have to find refs to keep up. Looking forward to bringing you guys that. We've got a lot of great things coming. Racing for Slips coming up this weekend. We have had some terrific talks with some terrific and exciting new projects in mind with some members of the firearm community. Really looking forward to dropping on you guys some fantastic facts and some really amazing things that are coming up. For you guys out there that think that we've just been taking pictures of guns and providing you with some nightly entertainment, we've got quite a bit more coming. So keep an eye on the YouTube, the Instagram, the Facebook, and you're going to see some great things coming up. We're really looking forward to bringing them to you and to having everybody enjoy what it is that the Canadian firearm community has to offer. We're going to give you all one place to come to and enjoy it all together, and that's the idea, folks. Looking forward to some community unity. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this evening's podcast. We're coming in at about the 20-minute mark. And sorry, Canadian Limey, couldn't stretch it any longer than that, but I definitely got to get myself some rest. I got a long day tomorrow. Anyway, Canada, as always, shoot straight, stay safe.